Sure I can, Littlefoot.
Yes, you can. Get up.
Dear sweet Littlefoot, do you remember the way to the Great Valley?
I guess so. But why do I have to know? You're gonna be with me.
I'll be with you. Even if you can't see me.
What do you mean if I can't see you? I can always see you.
Littlefoot, let your heart guide you. It whispers, so listen closely.
Mother? Mother?
This is The Land Before Time, specifically the heartbreaking scene of Littlefoot and his mother as she utters her last words to him before she dies. A grim, sorrowful tragedy, which then proceeds to the following scene. A scene which I think truly resonates within all of us at some point in our lives. And just maybe, it's something you need to hear.
It is nobody's fault. The great circle of life has begun. But you see, not all of us arrive together at the end.
What'll I do? I miss her so much.
And you'll always miss her. But she'll always be with you. As long as you remember the things she taught you. In a way, you'll never be apart. For you are still a part of each other.
My tummy hurts.
Well, that too will go in time, little fella. Only in time.
For those who don't know, this movie was a formative experience for 90s and early 2000s kids. And crazier to think that 6 years before we witnessed the heart-wrenching death of Mufasa, we had gotten the death of Littlefoot's mother, as Land Before Time came out in 1988. The scene depicted the harsh reality of life, and that eventually, we all must die. And in the journey that is life, not all of us will make it to the end together, as Reuter clearly stated. It then falls upon us to live on in honor of those who have passed on before us, to grieve, but to always remember that as long as you keep your loved ones close to your heart, they're never truly gone, and that will give you the solace and the comfort needed to keep moving forward. It is a beautifully powerful message in an incredible masterpiece of a movie. Greetings and salutations, everybody. GamingOtakuGeek here, and I think it's safe to say that I'm not the only one that had a dinosaur craze growing up, because most kids in the 90s and early 2000s had a phase where they loved dinosaurs to hell and back. And I was one of those such kids. Jurassic Park, Disney's Dinosaur, and The Land Before Time. These were my bread and butter. Trust me, I was over the moon for these movies, and they will always hold a special place in my heart. But The Land Before Time in particular is just such an incredible piece. It just truly boggles my mind. This film was made by Don Bluth, who made hits such as The Secret of Nim, American Tail, and All Dogs Go to Heaven. These movies came at a time when Don Bluth was trying to establish himself as an animator outside of Disney and prove that Disney did not have to be the only animation powerhouse in the industry. And though Disney would outlast Bluth in the sheer number of films in their catalog that is still ongoing to this day, Bluth made a statement with his films, noting that if children cannot see the darkness, they cannot be able to appreciate the light. A beautiful statement, to be sure, because especially nowadays, it seems as though people tend to underestimate children and their capacity to be able to absorb complex themes. Like seriously, folks, kids are a lot more intelligent than you give them credit for. And I'm very happy that films such as The Land Before Time exist because they still provide colorful visuals for children while also providing the meaningful and impactful messages that will resound in them and help forge them in life. And of course become classics for said children who then as adults revisit these and feel that fond nostalgia for them. But yes, The Land Before Time tells the story of a longneck named Littlefoot. With the land in decay, he travels with his family to the Great Valley in the hopes of being able to find that lush paradise so they do not have to worry about starving to death. Unfortunately, during their journey, they are separated by a cataclysmic event. And repelling a sharp-tooth attack, aka a T-Rex, Littlefoot's mother pays the ultimate price, leading to the oh-so-iconic death scene. And now, all alone, with his mother's words to guide him, Littlefoot attempts to find his way to the Great Valley. Along the way, he meets Sarah, Ducky, Petrie, and Spike, different species of dinosaurs from different herds that also got separated from their families. And though the different species tend to stick with their own kind, Littlefoot and his newly made friends traverse the dangers of the devastated landscape in order to be able to reach the Great Valley together. The end result of which is a journey of epic proportions in which their courage is tested. They go through so much misery and through so much danger, but eventually they make their way to the Great Valley, in doing so reuniting with their families. Again, this is just a phenomenally beautiful movie with a fantastic cast and a fantastic soundtrack by James Horner. It just truly gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. The movie is just overall peak. And it's funny, because it had been quite a number of years since I had last seen this movie, because I do remember that I did go on a binge of watching through all of the Land Before Time movies, but I don't remember how long ago that was. But anyway, there's this video that I watched here on YouTube by Kingfisher, where he was discussing about Land Before Time being a dark fantasy movie. And while watching that video, I got so nostalgic for the movie that it just remained in my mind. And then over the last few days, I was just thinking about my dad, who is the person that I dedicated this video to at the very beginning, Thomas Beltran. I'm recording this on the 6th, but by the time this video goes up on the 13th, it'll have been 2 years since I lost him. And as the days have drawn closer to the anniversary of his death, this movie came to mind, in particular, the scene of Rooter consoling Littlefoot and giving him very thoughtful life advice. It's a scene that now, more than ever, resonates strongly with me. And well, I wanted to take this moment to talk to you, my audience, about, going through this type of situation, about this grief. 2 whole years since he died, and it honestly still feels like yesterday. And I feel that it's something that will always feel recent, because of the fact that he's no longer here, and, that sorrow, that lingering sadness is something that sticks with you. Of course, with time, it's gotten a lot easier, so much easier, but it is definitely a pain that still resonates inside me, and it is something that I will indeed carry for the rest of my days. It's the pain of not being able to strike up a conversation with him, not being able to call him on the phone, not being able to see him when I go back to Puerto Rico to visit my family, and the physical presence of him no longer being there, it is something that haunts me, honestly. And yes, I know that he's in a better place, and I know that he's doing good, and that is enough for me. But of course, being human, it will only be natural that when I get to that point where I feel my feelings, I let them flow. I don't keep it pent up, and I just feel what I have to feel the sadness that I feel, but also reassure myself that everything's okay. Because at the end of the day, we had a strong bond. I was a good son to him, and he was an incredible father to me. And so that really helps to lessen the sting of the pain, and it makes it a whole lot easier to carry. Some days are better than others, but like Rooter said, as long as I remember the things that he taught me, he will always be a part of me, because we are still a part of each other at the end of the day. And like Littlefoot's mother told him, he will always be there for me, even if I can't see him. So long as I listen to my heart, I will always find him there. And what can I say about my dearly departed father? He was an incredible man. He had his flaws, sure, of course, because, we all have our flaws, and that's something that we can't deny. But he did his damnedest to make sure that I had an incredible childhood. He taught me how to laugh and how to be silly. He taught me the grace and peace of being able to appreciate my surroundings and in the tranquility of nature. He really taught me what quality time means, and that's something that I will always carry with me for the rest of my life. My love of movies came from him. We would watch so many movies together. We watched quite a few of the MCU entries as they were first coming out. We watched The Lord of the Rings, particularly Return of the King, which we saw in cinemas. And even though he wasn't a gamer, he would look up cutscene compilations, like cutscene movies on YouTube of particular games that I would recommend him based on his tastes, like horror movies or adventure movies. I remember that he told me that he had watched all of The Last of Us before the show even existed, when it was just the game. He watched the cutscene compilation. I was like, wow, that's great. And I remember he also watched Uncharted, if I'm not mistaken. And it was heartwarming that even though he wasn't a gamer, he went out of his way to in some way, shape, or form get into that hobby for my sake. And it's something that it brings a smile to my face just thinking about it. He was a lover of music, he played the acoustic guitar, and he had a wonderful singing voice. And he was a good whistler too. We both obsessed over corned beef, and I proudly carry that tradition to this day because corned beef is in my lifeblood. And even though I can't see him anymore or talk to him the way that I would, he nevertheless resides in my heart, and that gives me the greatest comfort. Thank you for everything, Dad. You did an incredible job, and I am so proud to have been able to be born as your son. Thank you for everything. And with this, I just also wanted to impart upon all of you, it is okay to grieve and mourn the people who are no longer with us. It is okay to miss them, and it is okay to feel what you have to feel, whether it be sadness, whether it be anger. Just as long as you're able to channel these feelings in a healthy way, you are completely within your right to feel heavily the loss of a loved one. But please do not let that grief deprive you from living your best life and from continuing to live onward in honor of those who are no longer here. Because they would want us to smile and keep our head held high and continue walking down this road that we call life. And I'm honestly happy and I feel very bittersweet, but very happy in the sense that this film makes me feel connected to him, and I am grateful for that experience. But yes, The Land Before Time, truly a masterpiece. What do you all think? Does this movie bring you nostalgic feelings just as it does for me? Does it also make you think of loved ones that you've lost? Whatever your thoughts, chime in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe. And also, if you haven't watched this movie yet, please take time out of your day to do so. Trust me, you won't regret it and you'll be all the better for it. But anyways, until next time, this has been GamingOtakuGeek, signing out.